What all goes into behind the scenes for scouting and recruiting for women's players? We're going to talk about it on 94 Feet of UNC.
Gordy to Black. The time, 18. Shot, Jordan! Michael Jordan!
Swicker with the defense and the rebound. That's a good effort by Swicker.
Stackout streaking in on Park. Rebound stock is good, and he gets fouled by Park. Oh my goodness, what a dunk by Stackout.
I think that he brought him back so quickly, but you know what? They're down eight. It's very
The glass no good. Rebound followed by Hansgrove. Good! Carolina.
Inside 30 overall. Love, top of the key.
Alice, the belt is over. Carolina. The Tar Heels have won the national championship.
And that is it. There is a new dean in college basketball. North Carolina takes the title. Captain, any final. North Carolina is the 2009 national champion. And this year, the confetti is going to fall to North Carolina. They're not going to be denied this time.
What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, September 17th. You are tuned in to the 94 Feet of UNC podcast. I am your host, Lindsay Graham. I got a special guest in the building with me today, but before we get into introducing himself, make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel at 94 Feet of UNC. Also follow me on all of my socials, Twitter, Instagram at 94 Feet of UNC. Got a lot of big things coming. You never know who's going to stop in at the Zell Dome and chop it up with me for a little bit. Also, we got the 94 Feet of UNC merchandise. It's coming soon, but we're going to be doing some free giveaways, things like that. So, but in order for you to find out on what's going on and be able to get something, make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow me on my socials. My special guest in the building with me today, he goes by Fleegle, but it's Jason Fleegle. So, Jason, how are you, my guy?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Lindsay. Quite the intro video you got.
Hey, listen, gotta put some things together, man. It's there's so many clips that we have for UNC that I could have made a clip for 20 minutes if I wanted to of just nothing but UNC clips, but these were some of the more big ones that I thought that I could just add into a little video intro or whatever. But I might change things up here soon or something like that. You never know. So but yeah, man,
I can get behind the Jordan. I can get behind the Jordan shot because that was over Georgetown and I can't stand them.
Oh, well, then there we go right there, right? So listen, there was some good that came out of it, even though I know you're a Nova fan, but there's some good that came out of that. Yeah,
there was.
Absolutely. So, Jason, what's going on in the world, man? Like I said, for the whole topic today, we're gonna get into what goes on behind the scenes for scouting and things like that for women's basketball players. I mean, of course.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know what it's like to and how things go behind the scenes for men, but I guess for those that don't know, and I'm intrigued myself a little bit as well. So what all goes into that? Well, I guess you know what, we'll get into it. Let me just go ahead and just jump right into everything. So how did you get started in coaching and and things like that? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Sure. My story kind of starts. Grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Played basketball my whole life. Played in the feeder schools. And walked into practice my first day, my freshman year of high school, and got cut. So that kind of threw a curveball in me. And that's kind of been a lasting memory and kind of a source of motivation for me and everything I still do today. But continued playing street ball, continued playing some city leagues throughout high school, and then got lucky and found a Division III school that said I could walk on and play there. So that kind of is part of my story, my testimony a little bit too. I'm sure we can talk about later. But I came out here to Phoenix, Philadelphia after playing 2 years in college and kind of just felt like I'd stay a little bit longer in the Phoenix area. But then I got hired as a girls basketball coach, took my first coaching gig out here in Phoenix. And, well, that was 2000, and now it's 2024, and I'm still here. So it kind of all just started accidentally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, things work in mysterious ways and things, right? Like if it's meant and destined to be, I guess, then it's gonna all happen. Like, things will just fall right in place, or whatever. So yeah,
if
that's
I'd have tried to choreograph it myself, I would have messed it up somehow. It just happened perfectly for me.
I got you. So what tell us, break down to us as far as like what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to, scouting and and things like that.
Well, I mean, I think every scout does it a little bit differently. Every scout has a different eye for different types of talent, and they all handle it a different way. But for me, it's in the gym. Last season, I was at 98 varsity girls games. My face is there. My brand is there. These girls need eyes on in Arizona. So it's first and foremost being in the gym. It's showing up at their practices. I get invited to practices all the time. It's phone calls. It's evaluations. It's phone calls with colleges. It can be as big of a monster as you want it to be.
Right.
And there's really as long as you're promoting the girls, and you're doing it with a factual trained eye, it can be an all day thing.
Yeah. So. I've always wondered how things go, behind the scenes in regards to, like when it comes to scouting and how schools or how coaches or whoever, kind of like finds out about, certain players, like, just being on the East Coast, how do you find out a player all the way on the West Coast? Like you have to, there's got to be some type of system that goes into all of that. If you want to like explain.
Yeah, it's these kids. It's a different game than probably when you and I played. It's these kids have traveled the country back and forth a number of times with club seasons, even with regular season high school games. We have a number of teams out here in Arizona that will go play in Hawaii. They're going to She Got Game tournaments in Dallas. They're going to Nike tournament in Chicago. So colleges, the big college especially, they have the money to travel. And these girls, high school, like I said, and club, they're all over the country. And they have chances to have eyes on them.
Right. I got you. So, like, what made you want to get into that after the coaching? Like, how did all of that transition from being an actual coach to, getting into the whole networking, scouting side of things, as far as, trying to help the players, hear from schools or things like that or whatever?
Definitely. And again, ironically, kind of accidentally it happened.
Right.
Took 4 or 5 years off just to kind of be dad and make sure I'm attending my kids' events and whatnot. But got back into the game doing a little bit of graphic work. Different kids would want their offered poster for social media or their committed graphic, whatever. Got into that. Then I had an itch to get back into the gym and kind of see some of these girls, meet some of these girls who I'm making designs for. And when I'm watching them, I'm like, man, there's some talent out here, or man, I wish they would do this. The X's and O's in my brain kind of came back out, and I got to thinking, like, my graphic stuff, that's cool. That it's not really who I am, or I have no training formally doing it. Just like, I think I can help these girls just by, sharing my X's and O's. I coached out here for 20 years of varsity girls basketball. I played 2 years of Division III It's like, I can do more to help a girl than with a silly little graphic. So that's where kind of this Fleezy basketball report took place, and it's kind of organically, slowly, just kind of exploded on me.
Right. So for all of my listeners that don't know, the way that I got in touch with Jason is through Taliyah Henderson. Had her on the show, a couple weeks ago. For those that have watched the show, Jason seen it. We ended up connecting on Instagram, and one thing just led to another, and that's how we're here today. So, Jason, for those that don't know a little bit about Taliyah, what can you what can you put out there about Taliyah?
First and foremost,
and what the women's basketball is what the UNC women's basketball is getting out of a player like Taliyah.
First and foremost, one of the nicest girls in our state. Comes from a great school, fantastic grades, fantastic family. She is so incredibly busy, whether it's playing for her Sal Point team, her club team, Team Canada, whatever. Whenever I message her, whenever I need something, she's always just the nicest, the quickest to respond to me. Incredible character and locker room girl is what North Carolina is getting. And then on the court, she kind of flips the switch. She's an animal. You need some outside game. She's got outside game. You need some low post, maybe some mid range. She's got that. She's got some speed. She's got some power. She's a lefty. North Carolina came into the desert and probably got the best girl in the 2025 class.
Wow.
I mean, she is versatile.
Yeah. That says a lot about Taliyah. And like I said, I got the chance to interview her. And like you said, she's very, very nice. She seems very humble. She's I reached out to her when I found out about the commitment, and she immediately reached back out, and that's how we just got the ball rolling basically. But I can tell, didn't know that she was the when she gets on the court, she's a totally different.
And again, another thing, she has the potential to be like a mismatch. Now, you play her at the 3, you're going to have a 3 with some size that can guard her. You put her at a 4, she's going to have that foot speed and that craftiness and be able to drag that defender out and hit the jump shot. So it's like, what kind of defender do you want to put on her?
Right. Yeah. That
North Carolina did very, very good.
Yeah. Coach Banghart, I hope you hear this. So this is coming from somebody who's been right there watching Taliyah. So out there in Arizona, man. So we're so glad that she's a Tar Heel. Yeah, we're so glad that she's a Tar Heel, and we can't wait to see what she does when she plays and starts next year for the Lady Tar Heels. So so excited for that. So take us through. So if you had a player, let's just say, let's use me as an example. Take me through how things go from like point A to point Z in regards, like, break it down in regards to like what kind of player that I am, as far as if I'm a D2, D3, doesn't matter. But from point A to point Z, take me through a process as far as how things go. And if you want to ask me some schools that I might want to attend or something like that, however it goes, like because I'm just intrigued and curious to know
Mm-hmm.
how that goes.
So it usually starts with, first and foremost, getting into the gym and seeing them play. From there, I do evaluations on them. I'll put their height, I'll put their weight, I'll put their stats, I put strengths and weaknesses, and I put it into this probably 4 or 5 sentence little paragraph,
Okay.
kind of a glimpse of who this player is. But one time's usually not good enough for me. I like I said, 100 games I was at another 66 in June. It's then the second, third time I'm kind of adding to that player evaluation on them. And it just kind of, the more I see them, obviously, the more comfortable I get with them. Then from there, I get them into my database. I have a strictly Arizona recruiting database of about 500 or so girls, but those have questions like unweighted GPA, what part of the country do you want to play in, give me your height, weight, all that again, give me a game film link. And then it's basically me networking with coaches that I've come to meet where that player wants to play. If she wants to play in the Pacific Northwest, and okay, let me go in my network. Let me see who I have in the Pacific Northwest. And I basically give them this Fleegle basketball report database for free. And then I'll highlight my top 20 in each class. I'll highlight my top 30 as the year gets going. And then it's it's individual. I go back to my graphics roots. It's promoting these girls with graphics, promoting these girls with articles, and it's all just free information that I put on my website for college coaches that they also get free access to. So it's a lot of work, and then it turns into phone calls, and it turns into emails about them that you have to have. So it's nonstop.
Yeah. Now when I guess when you reach out to the coaches and things like that, do they automatically reach back out to you? Is it like a third party, or do they go straight to whoever that player is?
Usually they'll come to me and just make sure that, when they read that player evaluation, make sure that they have the picture in their head of what they're seeing. Then we'll check with me just so we can have a conversation. I say, yeah, Taliyah, like, she's a mismatch night where she has inside, outside. She can play multiple positions. Like, okay, that's what I thought. And then I'm kind of a connector is what I call myself. Then they'll go ahead and get a hold of Taliyah. I have their phone numbers. I have their emails. I have their coaches' numbers. I'm just kind of the middleman. I just send them and hopefully find them a place where they're going to get free education.
Yeah. So that's remarkable. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like to be able to, because I know what it takes to do a podcast, and you got to make sure that you have stats and and things like that. So I can imagine what it's like trying to get data for however many players you said. Like that's and for it to be on point and as accurate as possible, because
that's where your reputation's on the line.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was getting ready to say, because your reputation is at stake when you reach out to all of these coaches. Like, so I can totally imagine how much pressure that is, but at the same time, if it's something that you love, then things like that just start to become easy.
Definitely. I mean, I'm never one to beat my chest. We have some really good scouts and evaluators that I see out here when I'm in the gyms all the time. I think maybe one thing that helps me maybe 1% more than is I coached 20 years. I coached against some of these coaches that now I'm evaluating their players. I'm not just someone that sits behind a screen and watches basketball games. I coached at these schools. I've done this for 20 years, like I said. So I hopefully just having that coach's eye and not just a media eye, maybe that helps me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have a wife that coached 20 years of freshman ball, so she lets me go out of the house and do this kind of stuff every single day. So
that helps, right?
that wouldn't be possible, I don't think, if your wife wasn't a coach as well.
Right. So teamwork. That's what it's about. Teamwork, as they say, makes the dream work, right? So, and of course, that just makes it easier for you as well, because something that you might miss. Like, you and your wife might be sitting there just watching videos and things like that, but something you might miss, she might pick up on. And
she wants to put on Netflix, and I want to pull up a girl's highlight reel and check it out. So we have to give and take sometimes. Like, no, let's check out this girl's highlights, because I want to promote her a little bit this week. So.
I got you. So, what? How do I want to say this? So I think when we talked, you told me that there wasn't like a lot of D2, D3, or any D2, D3 schools in the state of Arizona. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wow.
There is none. So if you don't mind, I'm going to, because I got curious. I'm going to look at my phone. I don't know if this is professional or not, but I'm going to look at my phone here. So I got curious because I know Arizona, we have that gap. We have 0 D2, we have 0 D3. So I got curious, like, okay, what's New Mexico, Nevada, Utah? Let me take some of these neighboring states and let's see how we compare. Is it just an Arizona thing, or is it a regional thing? Let's see if I can find this here real fast, Coach. Yeah, we have 0 D2s, 0 D3s. Oh, man.
And there's only maybe 2 major colleges in the state of Arizona?
We have 4 D1s. We have University of Arizona. We have Arizona State University. We have up north, we have Northern Arizona. They're D1, and kind of a bigger growing, they're planting their flag in our state, Grand Canyon University.
Okay, yes, Grand Canyon.
So
that's right.
All right, I found it here, Coach. Arizona, no Division 2s, no Division 3s. So then I swiped over to Utah, and they have 1 Division 2 and no Division 3s.
Wow.
And then I swiped over to New Mexico. They have 3 Division 2s and no Division 3s. And then lastly, Nevada, no Division 2s, no Division 3s.
Why do you think? Why do you think it's like that out there in that part?
That's a question that's in my head. I haven't got to. So when I get it, I'll text you and let you know. I've heard an answer. I don't get it, because Phoenix is one of the top 4 largest cities in America. How do we not have a D2? And that's a question I don't know the answer to, honestly, but I'm dying to know and hear a good explanation. Just limits the options for these girls out here and boys.
Yeah. That's because I can imagine how that could make a player feel, like knowing so really it's a must that they contact you because of the way and the branch that you can distribute them out to some of these other schools that may not even know about these players. Like,
they almost have to have a service. They almost have to have someone in their corner who has eyes and connections somewhere, because it's limited here. And then, because of that, and then honestly, because of the climate and stuff, it's taxing every day. It's 106, 110, whatever it is. It's like kids want to leave Arizona. So that's kind of, again, some of my motivation to help fill that D2. I do talk to D1s, but my passion is at D2, D3, NAIA, and filling that hole where we don't have any of that out here.
Yeah, that's
it's crazy. I mean, back there in North Carolina, you can turn the corner and see schools all over the place. I can do the same thing in Philadelphia and in Columbus, where I grew. I don't understand.
I wish I even might have had possible reason as to why it might be the way that it is, but I can't think of anything and any reason why it's not like that.
Mm.
I don't understand. Maybe we should start up a school out there, Jason. What do you think?
Oh man, I'll help you. You run it. I'll help you.
I tell you what, one thing for sure, if I did do something like that, I'm gonna make sure I get the best players because I know who the person is that I'm gonna call to make sure that happens for sure.
And
I
we'll
can
make,
fill up
and
a
we
roster
can
real quick.
we can get some jersey
Yeah.
colors because we have Villanova and North Carolina. It says it's that navy blue, light blue. That's all we need.
Yeah, well, see, we can't blend them because Villanova already got the blue in it, the Carolina blue in it. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we already have the color scheme we want. We have the North Carolina Villanova color
yeah,
scheme.
yeah, we could do something like that. We could do something like that. Maybe come up with a nice design, and
Mhm.
yeah, we might be able to do something like that. That's not a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Well, thank goodness we have California right next to it, and there's obviously up the Pacific Coast, California, Oregon. There's a ton of schools there. It's just
I was just
east
about
of
to ask how
California,
many do
and
we have?
between Texas
Yeah,
and California, not a whole lot.
yeah,
Texas has
that's
plenty.
weird.
California has plenty. The middle. Thank goodness Colorado. Colorado has some decent D2 and D1s, but I wish I would have had an answer before I got on the show here today.
Yeah, because I'm curious to know what that
Mhm.
is. What's going on in that area because like I said, I can imagine how hard it is for those players out there, the men and the women, to get themselves, recognized from other programs like D1 programs and things like that. Like I just wow. I, whew.
And obviously, this goes beyond girls basketball and boys basketball because this goes for football. There's no D2 football. So, I mean, what's the options?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
luckily, we
I
did
could
in Arizona. We have really good women's JUCO basketball. It's a 12
okay.
team conference. I think they're probably top
Mhm.
5 JUCO basketball in the country is Arizona. But
Yeah,
again, then you're looking at limited rosters. Like those are going to fill up fast because the JUCOs they're in the gym all the time. Whenever I'm in a gym, I see JUCO or Arizona JUCOs in the gym. So again, 12 girls, 12 teams. That's 144 players. There's more talent than that.
yeah. And so now you just deal with strictly Arizona, correct? Or
That's
players
where I am.
in Arizona.
That's where I am. Kind of this going into my second year into the media side. Yes, because I spent my 20 years coaching here. That's my passion. But the more I think about those poor Nevada kids, and I have some friends out there in Nevada who can probably help me get it started. The more I think about those New Mexico kids, I have that inkling like I'll just probably branch out there eventually. But again, I like to do things kind of slow, organically, and make sure it's done properly. But I can see me trying to do a little bit to help those kids in the future.
Yeah, yeah. And it's well needed, man. Like hats off to you for that. Like, just because I've never met I never knew that that's what was going on out west like that, as far as
Here,
D2 and D3, schools and things like that. So that's the reason why I keep saying that I can imagine how those players feel. But
mm,
hats off to you for being able to provide that service for them.
mm,
And it just shows your dedication and how much you care about the players out there being recognized and things like that. So um,
mm.
that's
I
that's
do
that's
appreciate
that's
that.
major. Absolutely.
And
That's
again,
that's
I'm not the only one out here. I can probably name 2 or 3 others. They work their butts off too, and
yeah.
we're just doing our. I mean, you're not alone. I was talking to a school out in Florida, and they had no idea we had no Division 2s and no Division 3s. I'm like, I'm begging people on my Twitter posts, please come take our kids because there's talent out here. You're not alone.
Yeah, like that's just man, like maybe we should. Yeah, you can't
It's
talk to the
like
NCAA.
I love fantasy football, and it's like, whenever I need a player in fantasy football, there's never a good player, right? But Arizona, like, we are full of like, come pick whoever you want because they're not staying in state probably. They've got to go somewhere else to play. So come to Arizona and pick who you want.
Yeah, so it's like a pot of gumbo.
I've never had gumbo, but let's go with.
Yeah, like I mean, you got so many different things inside of that gumbo. Like you got
different ingredients. Yep.
Yeah, so many ingredients and things like that within that pot. So it's like I don't see why a lot of now that it makes me it has me to wonder why coaches, and I don't know for sure, but you don't hear about a lot of coaches going to get somebody from Arizona. You just don't. Like, I mean, that's
they come out probably. We have 2 major summer tournaments. We have a Nike tournament out here in Phoenix in November, and then I think we have one in June too during the club ball, and you'll see them come out here. But other than that, it's kind of hard with the recruiting calendar, the recruiting guidelines. But the bigger schools, they have the money to come out here and do that. I like to, again, focus on those D2s, those D3s, those NAIAs where maybe their recruiting budget is a little more limited. They can't fly across the country whenever they want. And they're kind of my main focus. Those D1 schools, they know where the top talent is. They don't need too much help from people. But the D2s, the D3s, the NAIAs, even the out-of-state JUCOs, I like to get their attention and try to give them this. I hope it's a blessing. I always say blessing. I want to give them this website full of names, and just hopefully it helps them. And then ultimately it gets these girls, like I said, free education and get some eyes on them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because that leads me to wonder, like, because I know UNC has been looking at a player from out that way, like Koa Pete. And I'm sure, we talked off air about this. But it leads me to wonder, like, how did UNC find out about Koa Pete? And I'm not saying that he's on that low level or anything like that, but if there's no recognition like that out there or service out there, like, how do you find out like about players like Koa Pete? Like,
so Koa Pete gets lucky because his school's one of the powerhouses in Arizona. Koa Pete does a little bit. I think he was on one of the Team USAs. So he gets a little bit lucky because he has the measurables, he has the skill. He's at a great high school on a great club team. He's on Team USA. So if you're one of the top ones in any state, one of the top players in any state, your chances drastically increase. But what about again, here's where I go to the second level player, the third level player. Right. Maybe they're not on a great high school team. Maybe they're on a mediocre club team. They're probably definitely not on Team USA, anything. Like, who's watching them and promoting them is my question. Yeah. And again, that's where I try to fill that void. Yes, I still promote like Taliyah Henderson. She's a stud. And Kaishi Lunan, she's going to have her choice of schools out here. But second level, third level, like, again, when I got cut as a freshman in high school and I got lucky and found a Division III school to give me a chance, that's kind of my mission. It's like, I want to be that chance for someone, even if it's one girl each year. Like, I'm going to work my tail off and try to get one girl free education and extend her college career. So
that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Some of these kids are up in the reservation. We have reservation teams. Some of these kids are down here on the Mexican border. They don't know that there's talent down there. I know there's talent down there.
Yeah.
So,
man, that's
out here. You got to be one of the top players,
right? To be recognized. to be recognized, right, by a D1 school or something like that. Because Coapete, if I'm not mistaken, had all of the blue bloods looking at him.
And again, I don't go to boys games, but I know the name Coapete. I've seen Coapete. Another mismatch nightmare. Like, what position do you want to put him at, and what defender do you want to try to guard him with? Because good luck.
Yeah. So, and it's crazy because when I just found out that UNC men's basketball Coach Davis and staff was just out there in Arizona visiting Koa. I think it was last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Because he's from, is it Tempe?
Koa?
It's not Tempe. Yeah.
He's out he might have been, but he's out in the Chandler area, which is not too far from Tempe.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So
he's
I do know he was out that way.
Koa's going to go wherever he wants.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. That's top 20, I think, player in the class.
I wouldn't doubt it. Again, I don't check the boys too much, but wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. So, but so I know you got the website that, like, how do you? So is that it? So you created the website, or it is a website, and what you do, you send the link to the coaches, basically.
Yeah, I basically have a public website that the parents and the kids and they can all check. It's got shortened player evaluations. I try to keep it a little more positive and uplifting on there. But then I mirrored that, and I have a private website where there's a little bit more in-depth evaluation, a little more. But this girl needs to work on this, and this girl would probably be better at this level. I don't want to obviously put that on the public site, for everyone to be able to see. But yeah, I have a private link, and when coaches ask for it, when coaches start to follow me, when coaches call me, I send it over for free. The girls don't pay anything to get into the database, and the coaches in the colleges don't pay anything to get it.
Yeah, and that's So got to make sure that you, if you want, send me whatever link that you got, because I can put that in the description for any and everybody, even though it's a UNC podcast. But you never know who may end up watching.
Definitely, if you get any colleges of any level that want this link, just send me a name and number, and I'll send it right over. Absolutely, for sure. Because we got to figure something out, because I'm the type, I don't want talent to go to waste. Like I really don't. And over half of those kids I'll probably never see, and because I can imagine the talent that I've missed out on just from not knowing that this situation was going on out there in Arizona. Like that's it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing, and we need to get to the reason of why we've got to get that reason. We got to figure that out. But again, I've been lucky. This is going into my second year with this recruiting database, and I think I just broke 160 colleges that have this private website with the database on it now, from all different levels of schools. When they get it and see that it's free and they see what the content is, they're a little confused on how they're not paying for it. Is kind of the reaction I get. They feel like they have to give me their credit card number.
Right. No.
Just come get them.
Yeah. Just come and pick them up. Just bring a plane and just come and pick whichever ones you want. Just come and get them.
Yep.
I get that. I get that. So let me ask you this: from you going from, you're a Philadelphia guy, or Philadelphia, right? Or
Die Hard.
Pennsylvania. Okay, yeah. How did you end up in Arizona again? Like that's a long ways from from Philly, man.
Yeah. So again, I was in college. I walked onto that school out in the Philadelphia area, and then my sophomore year, there was a chance to do some speaking and running some youth camps, and they're saying, well, it's out in Phoenix. You and 3 of your teammates want to go spend the summer in Phoenix? And we're like, yeah, like it's paid for, it's free, and we just run.
Right.
Yeah. So I went, and then I just kind of, I'm a man of faith, and I just kind of felt like, I need to, I don't know why, I don't know what the plan is, but I need to stick around in Phoenix a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. So my teammates all went back and started their junior year, and I'm sitting here in Phoenix just because I came on in a little internship to do camps. And that's when I got hired at my first school, Phoenix Christian. And I never would have known that was the last time I would ever get to play college basketball, to play with my teammates. It just abruptly came to an end.
Yeah.
I still have a year and a half of college eligibility if anyone needs a point guard.
We got to create a database just for you, Jay. Just for you.
Just for people who still think they have game and have eligibility.
Well, hey, listen, I got to go on that list too. Then put me down on that list too, for sure. We'll be number 1 and number 2. I don't mind being the second player. Like I don't mind
at our own college that we're going to start, right?
There you go. So is it weird wearing Philadelphia stuff out that way? Do people look at you funny? Because I mean, you're just
Phoenix
so far away
Phoenix
from home.
Is weird. I mean, very few people who live in Phoenix are actually from Phoenix. They're just here because of the weather and the Gulf.
Yeah.
There are so many Philadelphians, Midwesterns out here. They call them the snowbirds. They leave in the summer, but when the weather gets nice, then they leave Minnesota and come to Phoenix. It's like no one's from here. Like I went to the Eagles Cardinals game 2 years ago, and it was 75% Eagle fans. But it was in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How was it when the Final Four was there? When the Final Four was there last year?
Yeah. It was packed. It was buzzing. The whole month it was buzzing. And then we had the WNBA All-Star game just recently out here too. So
that was up.
Phoenix. They hold some bigger events out here. So it's just they have to hold them at the right time, like I said, or the weather is going to play a factor on how many people come.
Yeah,
it's got to be inside too.
Thank goodness that they made that dome, right?
Yeah, Cardinal Stadium. Yep.
Yeah, I want to get to Phoenix.
Okay. Well, I'd recommend to you wait till December or November, December, January, and then get the heck out. It's going to start picking up in temperature.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep that in mind. I definitely keep that in mind. Me, I'll make sure I tell the wife. Listen, November, December, or January is one of those 3 months. Those are the only times we can go. Other than that, we're not stepping foot on AZ soil at all.
No.
Like
my poor kids, like they have to do soccer game. My son plays competitive club soccer, and they have 7 a.m. games because they want to get the first block of games done before 11 when it starts picking up in 10. And then there's no games between 11 and 6 because it's too bloody hot.
Right.
And then you come back in the evening for the other games. Yeah. My kids can't even go out and play.
Yeah, nah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't have no kids, but I'll act like I am the kid, and I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back out to the East Coast.
Well, that's gonna be hard to do. It's gonna be hard to do with you doing, everything that you're doing now. So that might not happen. When I'm sure you got it set to come and see Taliyah in a little over a year, right?
I'm hoping she plays some games out here. But yeah, I mean, when the girls go to colleges and they play close to the Valley, I definitely try to get out there and support them. So hopefully she makes it a little closer to us.
SMU.
What's that? Dallas? That's Dallas, right?
It's Dallas, yeah.
That's doable.
See, there we
It's
go.
doable.
There we go. Now, make sure you get that done soon because I don't know how long they're going to end up staying in the ACC. But, I mean.
Oh, my gosh. Everyone's changing conferences.
Yeah, you got the Pac-12 back.
I mean, the Big Ten's got UCLA in it. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, but I think UCLA is eventually going to come back to the Pac-12.
You think? Well, it'd be good because the Pac-12 it's legendary. Like,
yeah,
there's some teams in there that are historic blue bloods, like you said. They ain't got no reason being in the Midwest.
I agree. There's no reason why the ACC should have Stanford and Cal. No reason at all.
How can we even call it Atlantic Coastal Conference?
Exactly.
We're going to have to change branding, change names. We're going to have to change everything.
And from what I've heard, just from news that I've heard this way, that Stanford and Cal are coming back to the Pac-12. Right now, they got 16, and it starts back next year. Well, I think it might be 2026.
Okay. Do they have any big names? I mean, not that Stanford and Cal aren't big names, but do they have UCLA? Do they? Because once one of them come,
it wasn't big names like that. Let me see.
Once they get a big name, the other ones might want to follow.
Yeah, I don't think it was big names like that just yet. So, yeah, it says right here, in a surprising move Wednesday night, news emerged that Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, and San Diego State will leave the Mountain West Conference to join Oregon State and Washington State in the Pac-12 prior to the 2026-27 academic year.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm thinking with a football brand, and I'm thinking like, those are kind of like mid schools.
They are, and mid schools for basketball. I mean, if we just want to call it a buck, keep it a buck, like that's
it doesn't have the same lure as what the Pac-12 has always had.
Yeah, but I do think UCLA, I think USC, I think Oregon. All of those schools need to go back. Yeah, Oregon. I think all of them schools need to go back. I think you should, and I think they should add Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
It's on the West Coast.
I mean, they only have what, 3 sports, men's and women's basketball, maybe some volleyball. Are they good at anything else? I don't know how they are with baseball or anything. Like, I don't know if they have that.
And that's the thing. And that's what really all of this is about. Like, it's really because of football. It's not because of basketball.
Football's the moneymaker.
Yeah. So, I mean, they when they making these moves, they're basing it off of football strategic moves or whatever. Yeah. Like, to me, Cal and Stanford don't bring no value, or SMU don't bring no value to the ACC. None whatsoever to me.
No, they're middle to lower of the pack.
Yeah. So, I mean, bringing them all the way across the country, like,
and these kids are going across the country on a Tuesday. What kind of classwork are they missing? Like, and what happens if they have 2 road games in a row? Like,
well, now what I think what they did say about that is, like, if Stanford or Cal have to come this way, and they're gonna they're gonna make the schedule to where, okay, if you got UNC, if you got to come play UNC, then
you're gonna get Duke and Wake too.
You're going to get Duke and Wake Forest, so that now you just stay over here for about a week or something like that, and then
that's
go back.
Still crazy.
But that's crazy. That's crazy because, like you said, these kids are going to miss classes, all of that. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to have tutors that's got to come with
on the plane with. Yep. I mean, maybe it's just. There's no region anymore. It's the whole country. Just pick what teams you want.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I really don't. So, I mean, Jay, let me ask you one question real quick. How do you feel about the transfer portal in NIL? I ask everybody this, so I it's just a question because I like to get everybody's different. I hear so many different viewpoints on it, so it's only right that I gotta ask you. How do you feel about
Yeah,
this?
because it's trickling down to the high school here. I mean, right off the top of my head here, I know 3 major players in Arizona who are in the high school transfer portal that I can't announce, I can't say. It's just whatever happens in the college level happens in the high school level, unfortunately, whether it's good or bad. I like that some situations like a coach is fired or a coach takes another job, and that player, I think it's fair that player who was recruited by them should have the option to look somewhere else. So I think there
I
are
like that part.
positives to it. I just wish we would. I don't like that a kid can go to 4 different schools in 4 different years. If they potentially they could keep transferring and transferring for NILs and I'm very player friendly, but I just wish we could limit it a little bit. I think the last time I checked, we were like 2,000, 3,000 kids in the portal.
Right.
I feel like a lot of it is because they were misproperly evaluated or misproperly recruited. They pushed for this certain level and they weren't that level. So now you go to the portal. I just wish there was a way to limit it a little bit. It shouldn't just be kind of whenever you want.
So how would you do it?
I don't
Transfer
know.
portal first. How would you do it? I do agree because I do agree with you. If a coach leaves or gets fired, then
There's some
those
special
players
situations that kid needs. That kid needs an out and a fresh start somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think they have that set up because they get 30 days to decide whether or not they still want to just stay at the school or if they want to enter into the portal. So that rule is set. I agree with you that I don't think players should be going from school to school to school to school, playing at 4 different schools, whatever the case may be. I do think that there should be you can only enter the portal twice maybe throughout your career.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there is a clear answer. It's another, unfortunately, I think our world's come to a lot of gray areas. It's a gray area that, I try to be a little more black and white, but I'm old, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know if there is an answer. I don't know what the clear answer is. I like the 2. I like the 2 transfers, and then you need to stay where you are type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is.
And what about NIL?
I like it. These kids are big names. They're bringing a ton of money to the school. They're bringing so much money that the colleges are now building buildings because of this. They absolutely deserve to be paid.
Yeah, but how much, Jay?
Again, here we go. Like,
I'll give you an example. And I'm sure you've heard of him, AJ DeBanza.
No,
because if I'm not mistaken, he plays for like Utah Prep or something like that. So he's out
west. Okay.
Number 1 player coming out of the 2025 class for next year. Right now, he's down to his top 7 schools, which are Baylor, Auburn, Alabama, North Carolina, Kansas, Kansas State, and BYU. There have been rumors that have circulated for quite a while that AJ DeBanza was going to commit to BYU. And the reason why is because we've all heard that BYU offered him $5 million.
No offense to BYU or any of that, but that's the only reason it can be that you would choose them, because basketball-wise, BYU is not in the same category as some of those other schools, so it can only be a large sum of money.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, I don't know
like it.
how to set a certain dollar amount. I don't know, but the kids definitely, they bring so much money into campuses. They deserve to be rewarded for it.
So let's have a salary cap. Do we need to end up having a salary cap like they got in the NBA?
Well, I've even heard football programs, based on what position you are, you qualify for this. If you're a quarterback, we can up your NIL, where we can get you this amount of money. Oh, you're a wide receiver, because I'm an Ohio State Buckeye football fan, and their NIL, they have all the money in the world, but they base it off of the position that they are.
Right.
So a salary cap, something. I mean, if they're good enough, they're going to be making enough money in the pros anyways. They don't need it all in college. But to give them something, I'm for it. I
mean, I'm all for paying the players. I am for that. But I do not think that I mean, these are young kids, and I don't really want to call them kids, but they're a lot younger than I am. Yeah. And you're coming into school, and schools are offering you $1 million, and you're only 18 years old, 19, something like that. Like, granted, you have an agent, and of course, I know you want to support your family, but at the same time, that's too much money for an 18-year-old kid.
And you'd almost hope that there's like some financial literacy classes on like how to invest or how to find people that you can trust with your money or something. To just throw it at them and say, here you go, like that's not very responsible on the people giving the money.
And the thing is that I don't know if that's $1 million coming directly from the school, because if you stay in school, your NIL deals and things, you're going to get more deals the longer you stay in school. And that money is going to go up. So what is the purpose in coming for 1 year or so? Or let's use BYU's example as an example. AJ DeBanza is only going to be there for a year. He's a one and done player.
Okay.
So you're going to give him $5 million. BYU still aren't going to be that good. And what kind of recognition is he going to get?
And what does BYU get out of this for having him for 1 year?
Exactly.
You paid the kid $5 million. He showed up. You won 6 more games than last year. He's gone. Now what?
Right. You just threw all of that money away. Like, and you didn't have no money to pay any other players because you gave him all the money.
Yeah, and then you've got locker room issues because NIL is becoming a thing out here in the high school scene now. Arizona just passed it, I think, a year ago. And if I was coaching and I'm looking at my locker room and I know that girl makes money off of this company over here and no one else, like, we got some chemistry issues. Yep, I don't want to mess. I don't want to mess with it, but I think kids, and families for that matter, put so much time into this craft to be one of the elites. I think I agree with you that there needs to be a cap, but they need to be rewarded somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the
I don't know what the clear answer is.
Yeah, the NCAA has to regulate it somehow, some way, because
and I don't have faith in them.
Yeah, and not to mention it benefits the powerhouse schools, but what does it do for the other schools? Like, what does it do for Boise State? Or
it makes the rich richer.
Right. Like, Boise State don't have the UNC money.
No.
And Boise State don't have the Duke or the Kansas or Kentucky monies. So is there going to be a certain limit, or is everybody going to be granted? I mean, the NCAA makes billions of dollars every year.
Yeah.
So are they going to distribute money out to each school?
We need to balance the playing field.
Yeah. I say this. I say the NCAA gives every team a certain amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
and then every team also has a limit because a lot of the money sometimes comes from fundraising
Yep.
and alumni and people like that. So you have a cap on what your fundraisers can be. This is the limit on what the NCAA is going to give you. That's what you got to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, period. But at the same time, how is that going to benefit the Boise States and Fresno States and teams like that are on those next couple of tiers down from a powerhouse school? Like,
there's no good clear answer that everyone could get on board with.
Right.
It's a mess, and it's coming to the high school level.
If they don't get a grip on it, it's gonna ruin college basketball, just like the NBA is ruined now.
I see it all the time. I mean, there's kids out here in Arizona, and I'm assuming it goes on in it. They are transferring right and left to the bigger schools that have a little bit more prestige, a little bit better this and that, and it's just a microcosm of what this person could be like when they get to college. Like, they're going to want more and more and more and more. And where do you start? Where do you draw the line?
Yeah. I don't know. Crazy. I ask everybody that question all the time.
It's a loaded one. There is no right answer, and it's a deep one.
Yeah. We got to figure something out, though. But the NCAA, if they, like I said, if they don't fix it, it's going to cause a whirlwind of destruction.
Yeah,
because I don't want college. I love college basketball. I love college basketball more than I love any other sport.
Okay.
And I don't want college basketball to end up like the NBA. I just because I watch the NBA, a game here, game there, something like that. But the NBA is just so ego driven, low management issues. It's just so many different things. It's entertainment. That's what the NBA
it's scripted.
Is. Yeah, exactly. It's scripted, and
it's a product. It's a product.
Yeah, I don't want college basketball to get there because you're talking about kids that are trying to get to the NBA that are actually playing for something.
It's just so weird. It's so hard because, like you said, this kid that you're talking about out of Utah, he knows he's going to go to. He's 1 year away, and he's going to be there.
Yeah.
So,
and you go, yeah. I look at it like this: come to Carolina because, of course, I would love to have him. Number one player in the country. Come to Carolina. We might not give you $5 million, but we'll give you a nice little penny. But look at everything that you're going to gain from that just because you're coming to Carolina.
100%.
Like, just think about it like that. Like,
the names that have been on that campus in every sport, and you're going to be part of that fraternity. The Jordan brand, the Baby Blue, the Dean Smith. Like, that's, and I don't think kids think like this, but like, that's value you're going to hold for the rest of your life. Yeah. It's not.
Well, a lot of these kids don't Jordan is not their GOAT.
Oh,
Jordan is my GOAT. But a lot of these kids, LeBron is their GOAT. So they don't know about that era that we grew up on watching. The Jordans, Pippins, Olajuwons, Mournings, Shaqs, Robinsons, Karl Malones, Barkley. They don't know about that era. So they know what they see now.
Yep.
And that's how they're operating. And that's the reason why, Carolina is they don't look at Carolina like, oh, okay. So that's a Jordan brand school. Okay. What else? But they don't know everything that comes with it.
Yeah. They see just the exterior, but they don't go in deep in the history, the tradition. Yeah. And a lot of them, again, they don't have the time because they know they're going to go to school for 1 year. So why do they need to invest in knowing all this about a school? They want to know what's the sponsor, how much am I getting, am I on the court right away, and maybe am I trapped? Who do I get to play against?
Right. And I love,
I'm leaving.
Yeah, and I love the commitment. Such and such is announcing his commitment today at 11:30 a.m. or something like that Eastern time. I love that.
Yep.
I love that. I think that is great for the game of college basketball. But now it seems like it's starting to really be something, because now these kids know that it's about attention instead of
a celebration.
It's more of something like that or whatever. Like, because you can't tell me that a player chooses to go to BYU when really he didn't want to go to BYU. He would have never thought to go to BYU, but BYU offered him $5 million when he really wanted to go to Carolina, but the money called him, so he went to BYU, which is where he didn't want to go. So that's also going to cause something in the locker rooms, things like that, chemistry, things like that, or whatever. So a lot of these kids are going to these schools, and I think a lot of them are going for the wrong reason, instead of them going because it's where they really want to go.
And that's where the transfer comes in. They were chasing a name, they were chasing a level of a school, didn't get on the court, aren't happy with something, and bam, portal time.
Yeah.
And that's not a good reason for me to be in my opinion, for anyone to be in the portal.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. So yeah.
I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, sadly.
I've said that in to quite a few people. Like, you just took the words right out of my mouth.
If we could fix it perfectly, hopefully it would have been done already. But we're going to try to fix it. It's going to get worse somehow. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Hopefully, let's hope that happens and we figure something.
That's right.
out.
I just tell kids, like, quit chasing levels. Like I've told you, quit chasing that dream school. If they're not communicating with you, if they're not offering you by the time you're a senior, then we have to put it in our brain that that's probably not the school for me, and just follow the college, follow the coaches that are showing you the love. Like they're texting you, they're calling you, they want you on their campus, and you're going to play right away. That's where you're going to enjoy your college experience.
Exactly.
But I know the power of money too.
The root of all evil, right?
The root of all, you said it, brother. It always gets in the way.
Absolutely. Hey, it changes friendships, it ends friendships, it ends everything. It is like the root evil. But that's a whole nother topic. So, it is what it is. But listen, Jason, man, I appreciate you stopping by. Let everybody know where they can find you at and everything.
Definitely. Instagram and Twitter. You can find me. My handle's over here under my name here, at Fleezy. 6 total E's in there, but Instagram and Twitter. And if there's any colleges that are paying attention, just hit me up there. And I'd love to send you over a large, totally free recruiting website.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get a copy of the website too, because I just want to be able to see these players. Like I need to see them, Jay. I need to see them. Because that is blowing my mind, man. That is blowing my mind for sure. I need to see.
We'll find them a place. We got to find them a place.
Yeah, we got to find these players some homes for sure. I gotta. We're gonna try and work on some things. We really gonna try and work on some things for sure. So listen, for everybody is all of his contact information and everything is going to be in the description. So make sure that you all reach out to him. If you're a coach and you're listening to this, I got a lot of coaches, Jay, that follow me on Instagram and and things like that. So that might be able to do some plugins and things like that. Like we'll talk behind the scenes because we definitely gonna make some things happen. So, but
Good.
I appreciate you stopping by. It was an honor. Listen, anytime, you're always welcome to stop by the Zell Dome and chop it up a little bit, even if you just want to come and vent for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Or just,
maybe after a Villanova loss here.
Well, y'all don't have a lot to cheer for.
We need Jay Wright back.
Which ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
It's not happening. It is not happening. So
we got
we'll see.
Now.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all was thinking with that. Like, I'm surprised Eric Dixon didn't transfer, but
that guy came back. Yes. I mean, I'm happy, but I did not see that happening.
You didn't know that?
I knew it, but I did not see it happening. I thought he'd be gone.
Yeah. He came Eric, back.
I like you even more now.
CJ Bamba left. Yeah. So, but Dixon, he came back. I was shocked too. But because he could have really blossomed somewhere else.
Yeah,
he had every right to go somewhere.
Money somewhere. Yeah.
But hey, he's loyal. So
he is. He'll be a Villanova great for the rest of his life.
Okay, I'll give you that. I guess I'll give you that.
He'll be remembered as one of the best.
That is true. I agree with that.
At Nova, anyways.
Yes, for sure. And hey, he might end up having a good season. He might, not the team, but he.
I don't know. It's going to be a long season.
Yes, it is. But yeah, man, I like I said, it's an honor. But anytime you want to stop through, you're always welcome, my guy. Always welcome, my guy. For sure.
Appreciate it.
So, yes, sir. So that's gonna wrap it up today, everybody. You all enjoyed the show. Make sure that you get all and reach out to Jay. Sure on socials. Until the next time.
Chapters